So, good morning everyone. Look at this. We're out spraying. Spray on the back of the 155 today. We are in some stubble ground that has gone very green. Lots and lots of volunteer wheat and also a lot of grass, which is not ideal. Hence why we're in here with a sprayer. We're going to nuke it all with a bit of Roundup. Not that heavy a dose, 3 litres a hectare, and hopefully that will then make it a bit easier on the old cultivations. Our contractor had to go out there with his sumo, but there's just so much grass it kept clogging it up. So we decided we're going to spray it off, sumo it, and wait for it then to green up again, and then spray it right before drilling it with beans, because that's what's going in there next. Field of beans. I don't think we've fully decided how we're going to get the beans in yet, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. Anyway, today is also a very exciting day, because I am now allowed to announce that we have ourselves a channel partner, and that is Masons Kings. So we work with Masons Kings quite a lot here at North Wyke. They are our local John Deere dealer. They do all sorts of other stuff as well. They are in the agriculture and also the turf industry. They have 40 years experience in the industry, so they're brilliant to deal with. And I'm sure that a lot of you that are local that watch the videos will know who they are anyway. But if you want to find out a bit more about Masons Kings, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can go and check out their website, all the things they've got going on. But yeah, very exciting for the channel. It's thanks to everyone who watches and supports me that the channel's been noticed enough to, you know, generate some support from a company as big as Mason Kings. So thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to Masons Kings for wanting to partner up with me, and I'm sure there'll be some exciting stuff to come in the future. Anyway, let's get this spray here unfolded. I've done that field and the one above. I'm actually stood in the only field I haven't done today, which is this one. It's about 4 hectares. It's called Peckersford. It's been a bit interesting because all the other fields have had trenches dug in them for some new infrastructure that's going in. I might just go up and have a look at it on the way home when we finish where we are. Craig's actually on the trenching machine now, digging the trenches in the other fields. Yeah, we got some stuff going on here that's quite exciting. I'm sure we'll get involved in it a bit more when all the cabling and everything turns up to go into the ground. But for now, let's go spraying. Right, let's get this thing unfolded. There we go. That is brilliant how that works. Quick little snap of the fingers. It's all done. Also, got myself a new tripod. Now, Mr. Pemberton did tell me to get a different one, because he had one of these and it broke, and mine broke as well. But I'd already bought it by the time he told me. Thank you for the advice, Tom. Put that down as a business expense anyway. So we are spraying, as I said earlier, 3 litres a hectare of Roundup, just because there's a lot of greenery in these fields. And I'm putting it on with 150 litres of water. I normally do 200 litres of water, but I wanted to do it all in one tank full, saves having to go and refill. So here we are. Fire up! Right, so what I'm doing is I'm spraying the headlands manually, because that is where a lot of the greenery is. And as good as this sprayer is with the automatic section control, it does miss bits turning off and on. If you slow down too much, it doesn't think you're moving and it just stops itself. So I've got the sprayer in manual mode so that we don't miss a thing. So don't wanna miss this thing. Just like the song, whoever sang that one. Oh, 4-wheel drive, that would help. We're sort of, are we behind? I don't know if we're behind. We've got a lot of stuff to do before the weather turns to the point where we can't get on the field, just put it that way. We've got all the infrastructure to put in here before we do any winter sowing. We've got dung to spread, we've got hedges to cut. It's just busy, but it's good to be busy. Also, big thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently. We are now above the 17,000 subscriber mark, which is just mind-blowing. Still remember hitting like 50 subscribers after about 6 weeks, thinking it was amazing. And the feeling you'll never get old. Absolutely love making YouTube videos. It's amazing how many people I've met through doing it, and how much I learned through comments and everything, and how people do various things. Long may it continue. So here's to the next 17,000. Hopefully you can see on here we've just done our headland round. So what we need to do on this screen now, go into our settings and take it out of manual, which is that simulation speed button there, and then press auto, and that puts the sectioned into automatic. That now means that anywhere I haven't driven, the sprayer will start automatically putting spray down. So get ourselves lined up with a tram line or a guidance line here. Great thing about it being in automatic now as well is that if we slow down or speed up, the computer recognises that and it will put more pressure on the nozzle to get the liquid out quicker, so that we're putting an even rate on across the entire field. Now for some reason I've decided to go at an angle to the tram lines here. I don't quite know why I've done that. As long as the spray gets on the ground, it's all the same, isn't it? Yeah, this is me. I've just spotted something out of the corner of my eye. Them. I know exactly who they belong to. We will reunite these with their owner in a little while. Finish spraying. Hold it. Right, let's go and return these glasses. Have a look at this trenching machine. Right, I'm now in Poorfield, which has definitely lived up to its name this last 12 months. But Craig's actually in here with a trencher. He's down there. I'm sure these glasses belong to him, so I'm going to go and return them. It's also a good opportunity to have a look at the trencher that he's on down there too. So effectively what's happening in each of the arable fields, well, all the farm platform fields actually, is we're putting in 2 trenches in each field with a central point with what I believe to be some soil moisture infrastructure technology device stuff. It's obviously a lot more detailed than that, but at the minute what we're doing, or what Craig's doing, is digging the trenches with a machine that we've hired down there, ready to lay some of the cabling, which will run to a central point down there, and it's just spurred off that way and this way. The trenches have been put in a specific place. I don't know what for, but Bruce has put them all out on GPS points and marked them all out, and Craig's out here doing the digging. We'll go and see him and see how he's getting on. A bit challenging spraying this morning. I sprayed this just before Craig got going, so that I don't have to, because I can't cross the trenches, see, thought they would fill themselves in. So I sprayed it before we got going, but it is wet down here, really wet. Nice bit of soil down here though. I think he's digging to 0.85 of a metre, something like that. It's like a self-propelled chainsaw. I believe these belong to you. I found them in Pecketsford. And I saw them out the corner of my eye. The blue glistened up at me. Don't know. But they have been sprayed over, so maybe don't put them on your eyes. You've got more soil in here.
It's better here, yeah. I had a bit of a stony patch up there again.
Yeah.
You can see there was a pipe here at one point.
So that's a piece of drainage tile, that is.
I don't think I'm going to hit it. Well, no. If I hit it, it's too late anyway, I think.
How deep are you going?
Trying to do 75 centimetres.
75? Yeah.
But where it's stony, I can, because it's just a layer of stone.
Just rock.
So I just have to go a bit higher. So I'll go to there, and I'm done in here.
That's the finish line?
Yeah.
Right. Have fun. There it goes. I don't know who we've hired that from. Craig sorted it all out, but it's doing the job. Look at that. I mean, he's only started in here this morning. And I think the 2 runs of trenches are 75 metres. So I know some of what's going on. I haven't really been too well involved with it, but yeah, we're digging a trench. The cabling and all the other stuff required for these moisture sensors will be going in the trenches so that we won't disturb it when we're doing any cultivations in the future. There'll be a central point here where I guess some more of the infrastructure will go. And as to what we're going to be able to get back from all this stuff that's going in, we'll have to wait and ask somebody who knows a lot more about it. Hopefully we can be around when the guys come to install all the stuff, because they'll be the ones to ask. Anyway, we got a margin along this wood, so I'm going to run along there with the tractor and sprayer, clean off my wheels, and then it's our private track back up to the farm. Doing that saves me taking any mud out on the road. Everyone will love me. But the next stop for me will be the calf shed in a minute. I'm going to feed the calves, but what I really want to do tonight is have a feel of all their heads as they're feeding and make a list of calves that need dehorning or disbudding There's not that many because they're Angus's. They're usually polled, so usually they don't have buds or horns. But we have got a few, always get a few. Just before we go in that shed and feed the calves, just thought I'd show you the animals we have in here. I need to move their silage around a bit. So these guys are some farm finishing stock that we've had in here for a little while now. They've been on some barley. And now that we've run out of barley, they've gone on to this pellet. It's called Fast Beef. Don't know whether it makes them run faster or grow faster, but hopefully the latter. That's supplied by a company called Feedco. We usually get our creep feed and everything from them. They've also supplied the pellets for the calves next door. And then in these two pens, so there's 5 here and 5 here, we've got some of the animals from the Technograze project. So what would usually happen on the Technograze project is when we come to the end of grazing, when conditions don't allow us to keep the animals out anymore, we put these guys through a store ring at Exeter Market. Sadly this year, because of our TB status, us being a closed herd now, going down with TB, we can't do that. There are red markets, but they're a bit more few and far between. And we've got the shed empty before we house any cattle now, so we've made the decision to bring these guys in and try and finish them now that they're not required anymore on the project. So they're getting silage, which obviously needs pushing up. That's what I've come down here to do, even it all out a bit. And then they also get, I think it's about 1 kilo of this a day, and we'll probably up that a bit more of this Fast Beef pellet. It would seem we've got a dry cow roll as well. So yeah, usually we would take all 50 odd animals off and put them through the store ring at once. Obviously can't do that this year, so there's 10 here that are no longer needed. We'll fatten them hopefully fairly quickly. They're fairly well finished anyway. They would be very, very good store animals. It is just a pity that TB has kicked us whilst we're down. Not sure eating pellets is particularly good for you, dog. That's those guys happy till the morning. It's going to take me a little bit longer to feed them tonight, but that's just because I want to feel their horns. Before I do anything, look at this little calf here, this little brown one. She has a little white tip to her tail, and she always has her tail bolt upright when they're feeding. Isn't that brilliant? Okay, what my plan is to now, whilst they're distracted feeding, go around and just feel the head. You'll be able to feel the buds quite easily. Write down on my phone each pen who's got buds, and then we can just pull out the ones we need either tomorrow or the next day or whenever we've got time, and do it. Right, so the first pen, got 3 numbers written down. There's one there, I don't know if it's just got very, very small buds coming through. So we'll have another check of it when we do it, but there's definitely 2 there with buds. Come on. Hey. Everyone find a seat. It's not really something you hear anywhere other than in a calf shed. Oh, you've got horns, Patches O'Hoolican. And your mate. I have something that belongs to you, Gus. You've got it. Got the ball. Yeah. Right, only 2 in this pen that we need to do when we dehorn them, which is good. As you can hear, they've now finished their milk. I'll crack on and do the other 2 pens. These guys are really good at not attacking their bale too much. They sort of just pick at it. This lot, absolute hooligans. Look at them. There's a full bale in there this morning. So the final tally of calves that need dehorning is 3 in the top pen, 2 in the next pen, 2 again in the next pen. So that's the 60 that are all from one farm. And then interestingly, the 16 we have in this pen, which come from a different farm, none of those have horns. So that's good, they can just stay there and be happy. What we'll probably do is pick out the, what's it, 2, 4, 7 that need doing, put them in an end pen down there, jab them all with the anaesthetic, let that set in, and then dehorn them all as a group, and then put them back where they come from. It will look like a bit of a grim process, but they don't feel anything. We put anaesthetic in their head so that everything goes numb, and it is unfortunately a piece of management that we need to do to them for ourselves, and also the other calves that are with them, make sure they don't get bullied. But yeah, it's not going to affect them. They'll be absolutely fine. We'll give them some pain relief when we do it. I'll try and bring you guys a video of doing that so you can see it. But that is all from me for this one. Thanks again for watching. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, then hit that subscribe button down there. It is completely free, it doesn't cost you a penny. Big thanks to Mason Kings for coming on board with the channel. Their links are in the description as well. Go and check them out if you haven't already. And we'll see you on another video very soon. Cheerio.